This is our place, come on in. Our place, so glad you're here. Our place, everybody's welcome. We see God on every face. Love lives here in this place. Welcome to our place, our sweet place.
Welcome, everyone, to Centers for Spiritual Living, Boulder Valley. We are so glad you're here. I'm Reverend Jody Hill Stevenson, and I am the new minister here. Let's see, what's my title? Senior Consulting Minister. And I've played with this group before, and I love this congregation. We're so glad you joined us. Even though we're not able to be in the same room or to hug each other or to say things to each other as easily as we could, I want you to know that the board of trustees, the practitioners, the volunteers, myself, we are all here to love and support you. So we're so glad you're here. We have a great day, a great service plan for today, and always we have a great lineup for June. So please continue to join us and let us know how we can love and support you. And I want to welcome now Patrick Fitzgerald, our wonderful practitioner for today. We'll see you soon.
If we'd all close your eyes for the invocation. As we breathe, we know that there is only one life, one presence, one spirit. And that spirit, that one life is in every breath we take. And I know that one breath, that one spirit dwells with and around each and every one of us in this congregation, each and every one of us watching this video. And I know that same spirit expresses itself in, through, and as all here, all watching this video. So I know for this service, I know it is the highest and best. Just because I spoke these words. And I know this service is perfect, whole, and complete, exactly as it is. But the wisdom of Robert as he speaks will touch us all in a way that needs to touch us. Perfect, whole, and complete as it is. And I'm grateful for this service and Robert. Now, the purpose of CSL Boulder Valley, its purpose is celebrating divinity, embracing humanity, and creating community. And the mission of CSL Boulder Valley is providing tools and support to awaken our community to its spiritual magnificence. And our vision, inspiring and uplifting every one of us to transform the world. So in the spirit of that vision and that mission, I've lit a candle because I know this candle represents the light in each and every one of us. And that light needs to be expressed. That light needs to be brought out. It is expressed naturally just by the virtue of being light. Otherwise, it is extinguished. So hold a candle or just hold the light that is within you. Our readings today, the first one is from the great spiritual philosopher of the 20th century, Joseph Campbell. Life is without meaning. You bring the meaning to it. The meaning of life is whatever you ascribe it to be. Being alive is the meaning. And our second one comes from the spiritual teacher, Aaron Cana. When we step out of the way and allow spirit to guide our life, it truly becomes more magical than you could ever imagine. There's a deep sense of relief in knowing that you are taken care of, that you are supported, and that you are guided. Your life path and purpose become more clear rather than feeling weighed down or burdened by life. It can be replaced with freedom, joy, and relief. Life becomes a beautiful, fun game to enjoy rather than a journey to be endured. And our last reading is from our founder, Ernest Holmes. There is a presence and there is a power in the universe which constitute a dual unity of action and reaction, and the polarity from which all things come. Learn to court the presence by not only seeing God in everything and everybody, but by feeling God all the time. Feel the presence in the sacred place of your consciousness. Then use the power. Your thoughts will change the conditions of your life. So let's take a moment of silence. We can contemplate the words, your life, the service, and just feel our own beingness. And now it is my pleasure to introduce someone we are so lucky to have here at CSO Boulder Valley, our lovely musician, Karen Karsh. Karen, take it away.
We're all in this together right now. Let's try and make it better for each other somehow. No one should feel hungry, everyone should feel love. We're all in this together, every one of us. We're all in this together right now. Let's try and make it better for each other somehow. No one should feel hungry, everyone should feel love. We're all in this together, every one of us. You know it's true, every one of us. Me and you and this whole world, every one of us. No one
Thank you, Karen. And I ask that all of you close your eyes as I make a treatment. That here I stand, and here we all stand, or we all sit, watching from wherever we are, knowing that within us is the power, the one presence, the one spirit that dwells within and around everything, expresses itself through and as all things, expressing itself through every star and planet, including our planet Earth, expressing itself through everything that is in the earth, on the earth, of the earth, expressing itself in the waters, in the sky, in the land, in all the plants and the flowers and the trees and the grass, expressing itself in all the life forms that inhabit, all the creatures, the fish, the birds, the insect, the spiders, reptile, mammals, the virus, the bacteria, and the microscopic and macroscopic organisms. All is alive, so I know that same life force is in every human being, expresses itself through, in, through, and as the heart of all humans. So I know that same life force is within me. I know it is within each and every person, each and every soul that is watching this service, that life force dwells with and around each soul, expresses itself in, through, and as each soul watching this video. So I know exactly where they are. Every soul in this congregation is perfect, whole, and complete. So I know from that CSL Boulder Valley is perfect, whole, and complete as it is the highest and best as it is. That just as I know perfect health for each and every congregant, each and every one watching this video, I know perfect health for CSL Boulder Valley. And just as the nature of things is to grow and evolve, I know CSL Boulder Valley is growing and evolving in a way that is perfect, is of the highest and best for all involved, for all the congregants here. So I just hold that highest and best. And I'm so grateful for that highest and best, because the universe always conspires for the highest and best. I'm so grateful for that. So I release these words into that law that says that we are all one, and what we reflect is reflected outwards. So I just know that what is said here, the words I spoke, have taken form and manifest even before I spoke them, and they manifest in a way that is the highest and best for CSL Boulder Valley and for the growth and evolution of each and every soul watching this video. And so with that, I say, and so it is. And now, please join Karen, I'm sorry, in singing Alleluia.
Alleluia. Alleluia. Alleluia. Alleluia. Alleluia. Alleluia. Hallelujah. We are one now. 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 So we sing hallelujah. Alleluia, 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 alleluia.
Our guest speaker today is someone who lives very deep in my heart. We have developed a wonderful friendship, a brother-sister kind of connection, and a great respect for our abilities as colleagues. Reverend Robert Brzenski is an ordained minister of religious science and holds a master's degree in consciousness studies and transformative leadership. As the spiritual and creative director of the New Thought Media Network, he brings his passion for spirituality, music, and positive media to the world. Reverend Robert is rigorously committed to the vision of a world that works for everyone. He continually says yes to his soul's calling to serve humanity along this journey of enlightenment. Simply, he shows up and says yes, however, wherever, and whenever Spirit calls. Thank you, Reverend Robert, for being with us today. If we were all together, we would be clapping for you right now. Thanks, darling. Bye.
Well, hello, dear ones. Reverend Robert Brzenski with you. And I want to say thank you to Reverend Jody for that lovely introduction. And thank you, Boulder Valley Center for Spiritual Living, for inviting me to be with you today. I know in Reverend Jody's leadership, you are in great hands as you move through this time of exploring what's next for your community. Again, thank you so much for having me with you here today. I really look forward to this. This is another piece of the Center for Spiritual Living annual theme in this month of May. This is week number 4, and the title of our talk today is The Path Made Clear. Now, I added a rejoinder to that, finding your vision on the journey of enlightenment. And I'd like to explain that title for just a brief second before we launch into the real good stuff of this talk. The journey of enlightenment is a term that was utilized by Ram Dass long time ago. When I first got started in learning religious science and the science of mind philosophy, we used Ram Dass's book in one of our earlier classes. And in that book, he explained that we're not on a journey to enlightenment, not trying to get somewhere, not trying to accomplish something. We're on a journey of enlightenment. And that means that we're already enlightened. Each and every one of us is a light in the darkness. Each and every one of us is a light into the world. We are God's light, shining brightly, or maybe not so brightly. Regardless, we are God's light. And our job, if you will, is to shine our light more brightly, to shine the truth into those places where there may be darkness, to shine the truth into the places where I may have a hard time believing the truth. So the path made clear really has 3 steps, 3 distinct aspects to the journey, if you will, from where we are now to a desired outcome, to somewhere we'd rather be. The first step is to go within and listen. To go within and listen. The second step is to court the presence. To court the presence. And the third step is to have faith in the law. And we'll talk a bit more about that a little later. What exactly is the law? And how in the world can I have faith in the law? So we go within to listen, we court the presence, and we have faith in the law. Three ideas that point us towards a spiritual practice, towards spiritual principle, towards how we live a spiritual life. And when I think of going within and listening, the first idea that jumps into my mind, I would imagine yours as well, is meditation. In that same class I talked about, we also used a book by Ernest Holmes called Can We Talk to God? And in that book, Holmes lays out that in many ways, prayer or spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer as we call it here in the Centers for Spiritual Living, that prayer is one-way communication. We're dictating to God what we would like, if you will. Many people call it petitioning. I look at it a little bit differently. We're not actually begging or beseeching God to fulfill our desires, as if our desires are somehow unmet already, or that ours are less or more important than another's. In spiritual mind treatment, we are putting into the universal that which we desire. So we're not doing an awful lot of listening. We're doing an awful lot of talking. In meditation, however, we're called and asked to listen more, to listen deeply. Throughout all of time, humanity has been asked to listen to that inner voice, to that still small voice within, to go to the secret place of the Most High, to go to the stillness within. I trust that you have a spiritual practice in your life. And I'm going to encourage you to expand that practice. And what I love about our spiritual practices here at the Center for Spiritual Living, we're not bound to just one or two things. We don't just have prayer. We utilize prayer and meditation. We utilize journaling and visualizing and visioning. And that's what I'd really like to talk about in this moment. Visioning, the power of visioning. Now, I have been using the visioning process for close to 20 years now. And in that, I can attest and I can share stories after stories after stories of how this process works. Sometimes in very clear, direct ways, sometimes in kind of confusing, scratch your head kind of ways. And yet, it is a fabulous way to really listen. And from my perspective, visioning really is a two-way conversation. We ask a series of questions and we receive a series of answers. We ask and we receive. We inquire and we listen. And in visioning, we write it all down. We record everything. Nothing comes through the brain or comes through the feeling tones or comes through the intuition, the imagination, without getting written down somewhere. And that way we create a record, we create proof of our own spiritual journey. I don't know where this quote comes from, and I did a lot of digging around trying to figure it out. The best I can tell, it started in a tweet and was retweeted and went around some circles and got tagged on to famous people who didn't say this. But the idea is simple. When the vision is clear, the decision is easy. Think about that. When the vision is clear, the decision is easy. Now, my sense is this is a business guru of some sort, and he's talking about a business vision, right? When a collective group of people have a clear vision of where they're going, then the decisions those people need to make should be easy. It would follow the same is true for our own lives. And so I've changed that quote a little bit as well to say, when my vision is clear, when I am clear about the grand and glorious vision for my life, the big, big, highest vision for my life, when I get clear about that, everything is easy. Fill in the blanks. The decisions are easy. The opportunities come easily. Money flows to me easily. Whatever it is, when we get clear, really clear about our vision, the vision that is emerging through us, that wants to be revealed through us, then everything is easy. I am currently in a program with a group of people. We're visioning together every morning for 21 days. It's a deep practice. And it's a practice that isn't something that just happens once or twice and we're done with it. We stay with it, we keep with it, we keep visioning. Because in the vision, Spirit, God, the allness reveals itself. Now, Kenny Loggins said, trust what is bringing you joy. It's taking you someplace. Trust what is bringing you joy. It is taking you someplace. And this is how we make the step from the vision to courting the presence. Now, my perspective, and I'm, let's say, an early Gen Xer, not a baby boomer. My perspective of courting was always that it was rather outdated. It was old-fashioned. And in my days, we just called it dating. Today, I think they call it hooking up. I'm not sure, I'm not that young anymore. However we want to look at this, the idea remains the same. We want to make ourselves attractive to something so that that someone or something will find us attractive. So it's kind of antithetical in what we're speaking about, because we don't need to make ourselves attractive to God. We already are attractive to God. The divine is inherently attracted to us because we are part of it. And so it's not so much courting the divine from my perspective as it is embracing, nurturing, honoring, treating the divine as our most beloved. I think of my relationship with the divine much like I do with my family, my wife and my children. Those people in my life that I would do anything for, no matter what they ask, no matter what, when they call, no matter what it is, I say yes. As I share this, I'm reminded of more than a few nights of digging friends out of the snowbanks in the mountains of Utah and Colorado, and they'd go out and get stuck, and somehow I was always getting that phone call, and I had the gear, and I'd say yes any time of the day or night, go out and help. Well, we want, I believe, that is the calling that we're faced with right now. Are we courting the divine? Are we embracing that relationship? Are we treating the divine as our most beloved, the one we would do anything for? Because what happens is, the more we stay in this vision, well, the more opportunities we're given to fulfill that vision. And Kenny Loggins reminds us that we've got to trust those activities and opportunities that bring us joy. Those that don't are not moving us forward in our vision. These last couple of months have been a great opportunity to let go of those things that no longer bring us joy. And on a global scale, we're seeing the letting go of things that just no longer serve a life of joy. So as we step into this experience, we want to be courting the divine, and we want to be developing our spiritual muscles, if you will. developing our spiritual practice to an even deeper and deeper level. To paraphrase Gandhi, I meditate 2 hours a day unless I'm really, really busy, and then I meditate for 4. And that may be a bad paraphrase. However, the point remains that in the time of our darkest hour, that is the supreme time to do this work. That is the time to double down on this kind of work and be with our spiritual community, however that might be, in a Zoom room, on a telephone call, here in a virtual service. And I'm going to encourage you this week to pick up the phone and reach out to at least 3 different people that you know are in this room, that are all watching this video, maybe now or at another time. Pick up the phone and call at least 3 of those people throughout this week. Say hello. Just chat. Just connect. That's courting the divine. In a book titled Power of Idea by Ernest Holmes, on page 94, he wrote this: as you listen to the divine wisdom within you, you will receive your inspiration and guidance. As you speak your word, think your thoughts, or make your affirmations with complete conviction, you will discover that you are using a power that actually is, and that actually does respond to you. The spirit within you is God, the infinite source of your intelligence and wisdom and creative power. Listen to the divine for the guidance and the inspiration. The vision will tell you that. Court the presence by speaking your word, your thoughts, and your affirmations with complete conviction. There is no doubt in the mind of God, with complete conviction. And you will discover that the power which is God responds to you, because it must. That is its very nature, to create. So that brings us to having faith in the law. Now, the law is one of those great words in religious science. I always like to turn to our textbook, The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. And whenever we're talking words, I like to turn to the glossary first and take a look at what's in the glossary. So in order to have faith in the law, let's first figure out what the law is. Law in action, the creative medium of spirit, is the great mental law of the universe. It is the law of the spirit. It is the universal law of mind. The law of mind and spirit must be understood if they are to be consciously used for definite purposes. So we have the law of mind and the law of spirit. The creative medium of spirit is the great mental law of the universe. Mind in action. Pretty much the same thing here, right? There is no limit to the law, but there appears to be a limit to man's understanding of it. And it is in that limit of our understanding, or the apparent limit of our understanding, that we create things we don't really want in the world. We create an experience of division or separation, of suffering, of doubt, all the things that we don't wish to experience. It's not that God isn't creating. God is absolutely creating based on our thoughts, on our beliefs. It's that we've limited, through our own sense of limits, boundaries, we've limited how God may take form. The thing that makes us sick is the thing that heals us. We need not look for a law of sickness and a law of health. There is only one law. Our misuse of this makes it appear that there are many laws. Whatever we think, believe in, feel, visualize, vision, imagine, read, talk about, in fact, all processes which affect or impress us at all are going into the subjective state of our thought, which is our individualized use of a universal mind. Everything we bring into our mind, every meme, every video, every prayer, every positive affirmation, every conspiracy theory film, everything that we allow into our consciousness, into our awareness, that we impress upon our minds, must come to shape, must come to form. The law is a blind force. Excuse me. The law is a blind force, and whatever goes into the subjective state of our thoughts tends to return again as some condition. Everything must manifest. And one of my all-time favorite passages on the law. There's no doubt about the immutability and the availability of the law. The law is infinite. It is right where we happen to be at any given time. It occupies all space and fills every form with differentiations of itself. The law also flows through us because it flows through everything, and since we exist, it must be in and through us. This is the crux of the whole matter. Infinite and immutable as the law is, ever present and available as it is, the potential possibility of all human probability, it must flow through us in order to manifest for us. We have to let God, the law, flow through us in order to manifest for us. Later in that paragraph, he writes, it works for us by flowing through us. And one of my all-time favorites quotes by Ernest Holmes, and it's right here on this page at the bottom of page 52. Hence it follows that if we believe that it, meaning God, the law, hence it follows that if we believe that it will not work, it really works by appearing to not work. When we believe that it cannot and will not, then according to the principle, it does not. But when it does not, it still does, only it does according to our belief that it will not. Catch that? Hence it follows that if we believe that it will not work, it really works by appearing to not work. When we believe that it cannot and will not, then according to the principle, it does not. But when it does not, it still does, only it does according to our belief that it will not. We get to make this thing up as we go along, folks. We get to create our lives as we go along, because what we're creating is simply a product of what we believe. So do you believe this is a time of great sorrow and suffering? Or do you believe this is a time of great opportunity and transformation? Do you believe in the power of your own word to create and control the conditions of your life? If so, welcome to the wondrous miracle that is God's life as your life. And if not, let's have a conversation about that. Reach out to a practitioner, reach out to a minister, reach out to myself, reach out to Reverend Jody. If you're in that place of having a tough time believing that this is even possible, well then, let's get you some support in changing that belief. Because as long as you believe that this doesn't work, it works by not working, by appearing to not work in your life. And as soon as you start to believe that it is working, then it does work according to your beliefs as well. I really invite you to explore this in the coming week. And we have an affirmation. I'm going to share that on the screen here. I'd like you to, I'll say it once through, and then I'd like to repeat it together a couple of times just to make sure it really gets anchored in. So the affirmation for the week, I invite you to take this into all your relationships, into everything you're doing. I trust the divine wisdom within to guide my decisions and light my path. I walk confidently into the grand vision of my life. Please, I know it's a little corny on video, but say that with me. I trust the divine wisdom within to guide my decisions and light my path. I walk confidently into the grand vision of my life. And once more, like we really, really mean it. I trust the divine wisdom within to guide my decisions and light my path. I walk confidently into the grand vision of my life. And if you're comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes as we move into a time of prayer and reflection. And assume that prayer pose, whatever that may be. and share in a deep and abiding truth. There is only one love, one light, one beauty, one health, one form, one source, one all, one of everything that is one of anything. I call this God, the source and the supply, the Alpha and the Omega, the heartbeat of everyone across this planet and beyond, every blade of grass, every flower blooming, every leaf fading. The oneness of God's life expressing itself through and as all life, through and as my life, through and as the lives of each and every one that hears this broadcast. I invite you to place your hand upon your heart and feel the heartbeat of God. Ever present, never absent, never missing, as close as the very next breath, as inherent as the heartbeat. That is the powerhouse of God expressing in the body temple. All is love, all is life. And I know there's an opportunity awaiting each one of us. The vision reveals that. I invite each one into a deep knowing that there is a mighty vision for their life. There's a mighty, mighty vision for your life. And you are here to share that vision with the world, because what happens is, I know that your presence on this planet is absolutely vital. It absolutely makes a difference along this evolutionary journey that we are upon, the journey of enlightenment. I recognize everyone on this planet providing a vital piece to this puzzle, a vital aspect to this vision. And I know there is a mighty, mighty vision that is revealing itself right here, right now, a world that works for everyone. It may not look that way right this minute. It may not seem that way in the human world. And in the mind of God, this mighty vision is coming online right now, right here. We are making that evolutionary leap into the second tier, into a new way of being, into a new paradigm for humanity's life on planet Earth, a new way of being in community, a new way of being connected. We are right now in the midst of that evolutionary leap, and it is good because it is God, and it could be no other way. So I cast aside any belief in the Tao, any belief on separation, anything that appears to be unlike the truth of God, the light of God, the love of God. I know this mighty vision is revealing itself, and that as it does, moment by moment by moment, each one that turns to the vision is lit up with inspiration and opportunity. For as we turn to the vision, we turn to the light. As close as the very next breath, a world that works for everyone, a world where humanity has awakened to its spiritual magnificence. That's happening right now, moment by moment by moment, in every conversation, in every Zoom room, in every broadcast, in every phone chat, in every wave across the cul-de-sac. A new life emerging, revealing itself. It is the demonstration of a long-held prayer, and we are living it right now. So I invite each one that hears these words to be in that place of saying, "Yee-haw! Life is good." And I am grateful. Grateful to be a part of this, grateful to be present to it, grateful to operate within it, most especially grateful to know God's got this, and I can let it be. I release this word into the law that must operate, that must demonstrate, that is in fact already operating upon this word, already demonstrating the truth of this word. I let it be. I let go and I let God be God. And if any one word of this has resonated in any way, please join in a giant affirmation of this truth as we say together, and so it is. And so it is. Thank you, dear ones. Until next time, peace and blessings.
Yeah. And do you ever feel uninspired? Sometimes a little bit tired, wondering which path you should take. Standing at the brink of a choice to make. But if you listen with your heart, trust your soul, there's a still small voice inside us all, quiet and small. Listen with your heart, trust your soul. Your heart will guide you through the darkness. Your heart will lead you home. Your heart will help you find your way home where you belong. You know it will, home where you belong. Well, it's a matter of trust, and it really feels just like almost the hardest thing you've ever had to do. But remember, that still small voice can help you, because our heart joins forces with the divine. Give love and be love, one heart, one mind. Let humanity shine all the time. So listen with your heart. Ooh, trust your soul. There's a still small voice inside us all, quiet and small. Listen with your heart, trust your soul. Your heart will guide you through the darkness. You know it will. Show you the way to go. Your heart will lead you home, home where you belong. Here's the good part. Your heart is God speaking the highest truth, speaking to me and you. A whisper on the rain. God is calling out our names. So listen with your heart, trust your soul. guide you through the darkness. You know it will. Show you the way to go. Your heart is gonna lead you home, home where you belong. Yeah. Home where you belong. Home where you
So thank you, Karen, so much. I tell you, I have always loved working with you. Your music just opens hearts and expands minds, and you are just the best. Thank you so much. And Reverend Robert, you're fabulous. Thank you. I love your heart. So now is the time for all of us to remember that we live in a lavishly abundant universe. It's a great opportunity for us to continue giving into life. And thank you for all of your contributions. It's because of you that the Center for Spiritual Living Boulder Valley continues to be well and prosperous. So we are here to serve you, to love you, and let us know how we can do that. And again, thank you for your contribution. Let's do our affirmation together. This perfect gift
is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all it touches. Freely I give, and joyously I receive. And so it is.
And so it is. So let's have fun this week, welcoming more prosperity into our community. We'll see you soon. Have a great week. And be sure and join us next week because we have a part concert, part talk. It's a fabulous Sunday. We'll see you soon. Bye.
And I want to thank you for joining us here at CSL Boulder Valley. And you are always welcome to reach out to any one of the practitioners. They are on the website, cslbv.org. You're welcome to reach out to any one of the practitioners, myself, or Kelly, or Claudia, or Kathy, or Jim for prayer. Because it is our honor to pray with you. And so what I'd like you to do is just close your eyes as I now say our concluding benediction. I now walk so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God. I now listen so that whoever speaks with me knows that I hear the voice of God. Whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness. For spirit and I are one eternally, and so it is.
Here we go, everybody. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Original music written and performed by Karen Karsh. Copyright held by Karen Karsh Crystal Music. All rights reserved.